Hey there, it's Wednesday afternoon. I released a video on making the bracket for mounting that TV down there. I'm using that as a monitor to work with my laptop. That's going to work with the CNC, which is on the table now, as you can see, but still not operating yet. I need to set aside a full day to get everything set up. And I wanted to get it to the point where I can just come out and take a SketchUp file that I designed inside, bring it out here, load it in, and then go from there without any hiccups. Okay, and I know some of you are saying, well, what about Fusion 360? Well, I don't want to take the time to learn Fusion 360. I know how to use SketchUp really well. I use it for all my plans, so I don't have the time basically to devote to doing that, and I don't have to because I was using SketchUp before briefly with that Shapeoko thing I had. Made the bracket from just a scrap of plywood. Thought it would make a semi-interesting video. I kind of screwed up with the filming of it though. I had that camera outdoors and I was taking photographs of something. I had changed the settings on it and didn't realize. Took it back in. Well, it wasn't like immediate or anything, but I didn't realize I had the settings changed and the video was weird. So anyway, who cares about that? Nobody cares about the quality of video. All I care about is pointing out, okay, why did you make the cut so complicated? Why does it have to lock? Are you concerned about it lifting up? Because, okay, when I mounted this before, not this one, but the one in my office, I put it up on the wall. I used the French cleat. And then I got comments from people, oh, what about it lifts off the wall? So you can't win. You can't win. You make it locking, and they're saying, use French cleat already. It's not going to fall down. Well, it's better, especially out in the workshop like this, where you're moving stuff around, or you could get jostled, whatever, to have something that's locking. And really, it's not that big a deal to do it the way I did. The thing I was working on yesterday was this, trying to pick it up without it coming apart, and this drill guide. And I made this because I've got some holes to drill in my workbench for an idea that I wanted to try out. It was an idea that occurred to me when I was cutting biscuits. I think it was for the floating workbench over there, and I didn't have anything to put the wood up against. And you can put a clamp there or whatever, but it would be handy to have bench docks in locations along this side of the workbench over here that you could, pop up and put your stock against to do that kind of thing, right? So I did a quick drawing in SketchUp to kind of flesh out the idea, and then I came out and I came up with this, and you can see there's two, these are dowels actually, homemade dowels. I did this very roughly, right? And the way this works is this one's here, and then this one's the button. You press on that, it pops up. And then you can press on the dowel, and the other one pops back up again. So they're completely flush on the top, or that's the way they're supposed to be. And that's the way they would be in the workbench when I get around to doing it and do a more precise job. But yeah, this is the idea. You press down on that, and then this stays up, and your work goes against that, right? And then when you're done, you push it down, totally flush. So that's one way of getting this one out, right? Just to push on that, and it pops out. Yeah, like, look at that. That's fun. Fun for a girl and a boy. And look, it'll do that one too. Hang on. Woo! Doesn't take much to amuse me. This thing has been on my to-do list for quite a long time, and I finally got around to doing it. And it was, like I said, I did the whole thing yesterday. It was real easy. I'm going to pull this right out. Hang on, let's get this. See? And then this part, and you can see the spring inside there. It's just hooked over this screw, and then you want to change the bit. You do that, And then to take the thing out again, let's just remove this screw and then flip it up and it comes right out. Hang on, I'll do it. I'll show ya. I'll show ya how easy it is. I'll convince you. It's like I'm selling this. I'm not selling this. I'm not making plans for this. You can't make plans for this because there's too many variations in drills. You really have to specifically make this for the drill that you have. Okay, I could make plans for this drill, but then here we go. And then it's a little bit of a snug fit up in the front of it, okay? And then it comes completely out. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Did I tell you about focus, what focus does? I don't think I did. Focus stands here in place of me, and I focus on him with the camera, and then I switch it to manual. I switch it from automatic focus, after it's focused on him, to manual focus, and then it's locked on, and it doesn't move. So that when I'm standing here, talking to the camera, and if I happen to turn my head, or move one side or the other, like this, it doesn't drift. The focus doesn't lose its tracking point, which is a face for that camera. It's really good at automatic focus, but I still don't rely on it. With this system, I can move in a little bit closer, and I'm still reasonable. I can move back a little bit, and I can move side to side almost as much as I want. Well, as much as I want, it'll never lose focus because the focus is locked in this region right here where I am, okay? Now, this name, Focus Master, that's kind of interesting. I got this from a superintendent on a job I did. Did the doors and hardware on. Actually, I had 2 jobs with him. The first job, I started the job with the door, I was there, and then he took over from another super, because the super that was there, superintendent, in case you're not aware, a superintendent is a guy that works for the general contractor, and the general contractor is the company that does the job, the building, like takes the contract, the main contract, and then they hire all the subcontractors. So the superintendent is the guy on the ground type thing. He gets all the crap from above and he gets all the crap from below, right? Really thankless job, and they don't make a whole lot of money either. Anyway, so he took over from the super that left because that super left to go to Australia. He said he was going to sit on the beach and do some painting. His girlfriend apparently was from Australia. She was going to take him down, and he showed up again a couple of years later on another job. I guess she booted him. Anyway, so this new guy, which is an old guy, he's an older guy, takes over on that job to finish it up. And he seemed normal, like when he got there, like most people do, until you start talking to them, and then the crazy comes out. Right, and so this was one of his concepts, the Focus Master concept, which is kind of a training program, because he said, you know, the real problem with people is that they can't focus. And I agreed 100%, and I still do. People don't focus on what's important. They focus on the minutia. You know, they get lost in the details and stuff that really doesn't matter. Okay, like for instance, you know, people get really upset if they come across somebody who says that the world is flat, right? For 99.9998% of the population, it doesn't matter whether the world is flat or not, okay? Because like they're not going to go to the edge of it if it is flat, or they're not going to go to the other side of it if it is round, right? They're certainly not going to leave the planet, except on some sort of drugged out trip. But anyway, so the Focus Master was his idea. He had lots of different ideas. He was talking this one time about about driving somewhere, and he saw beavers up on a hill. And this is the kind of craziness that was coming out of him. And the other one invention that stuck in my mind was the mini roulette wheel. Like he invented the mini roulette wheel that he was trying to get marketed, and he couldn't get, I guess he couldn't get it to go. You know, he couldn't understand that. I mean, you're on a plane, say you got some hot chick sitting beside you, right? You want to play some mini roulette with me, baby? That type of thing. Like, who wants to play roulette? Other than if you're in a casino. So, these kind of crazy ideas. And the Focus Master, this kind of inside joke, the only other person that would get it is my brother. And he'd probably know more details about this because he remembers it better than I do.
You've got to get there before sundown.
Sir, when the job's done, who knows if we can return by this route or whether we could find you if we did.
If you were in my shoes, Joyce, I wouldn't hesitate to leave you here, and you know that.
He doesn't know it, but I do. You'd leave your own mother here if the rules called for it.